Okay, so the other day my dryer went out. You turn it on and then all of a sudden, pow! It just sparked. It was not pretty. You go out, check the breakers, and the breakers are good to go. They were tripped or whatever, but you flip them back and it was just fine. But the dryer itself, it was totally dead. Let me show you why. That loud explosion, or it wasn't an explosion, it was just a pop. That came from the power cord that plugs into your wall that connects to the back of the dryer. I don't know if you could see, but this thing is fried. Let me get the focus right. Alright, but yeah, this thing is fried. And the only way that you can fix it, well, there's more than one way. First, you can replace this particular cord. That's what this is. This is a new cord that I went and picked up at Walmart. You can get it at any appliance store. Just find out how many prongs you need for your outlet and plug it into the back of the dryer and plug it into the wall. The thing that used to freak some people out about the dryer cord is it a 3-prong or is it a 4-prong? I think a lot of cases today you're going to have 4-prong dryers, and it makes them a lot easier to find, but this is what I mean by 3-prong or 4-prong. Alright, so you're looking at my dryer outlet receptacle or what have you, and you notice there are 4 slots for the plug to plug into. There's one there, one there, one there, one there. The other dryers would only have 3 instead of 4. After you figure out your cord, you just plug it into the back, which is what I did. Unfortunately, that didn't fix my problem. Plugged it in, hit power, and pow, it sparked again. So there's something going on with the dryer. I would like to think there was something going on with the actual outlet in the wall, but usually when your fuses trip in the house or what have you, they're tripping to protect you. So it got an overload, it got an arc or what have you, so it's turning everything off so you don't burn down your house. So I had to look at the dryer and see what else was going on. You see, okay, so this part right here, this is where your power cord connects. See how all burned up and grimy this thing is? That's the problem. All that's doing is creating an arc and a lot of heat, and it totally just pops. You know, look at my cord. Went to plug the cord in and pow, it popped. My cord has little black sparks on it, or black marks on it. So the problem lies with that little piece there. This piece is called a terminal block. Yeah, terminal block for your dryer. If you look it up, Amazon or what have you, it's not an expensive piece of equipment, but that should fix the issues here. So we're going to grab mine and try to get this thing installed. To remove the bad terminal block from your dryer, just grab your trusty screwdriver or your favorite drill or what have you, and just take out, it's anywhere between 4 and 5 different screws on there. Just take them out and then unplug your existing power cord from that terminal block. It has little loop connectors, and you just take those off. I've already taken my power cord off of this terminal block. Now what remains is to disconnect the terminal block from the actual dryer connections. See these right here, that's the power cord. I've already taken those off of this block here, but I need to get these cables that are running into the inside of the dryer and disconnect it from the terminal block. And the only way you do it is you just flat out cut them off. So grab yourself some wire cutters and cut these off. Please be careful doing all this stuff. Always make sure you're not plugged into the wall or anything like that, so you don't electrocute yourself, people. So I'm just going to cut this off. Alright, so when you get this thing off and you see that it's pretty daggum burned up and grimy, the question that came to my head was why? Why did that happen? Well, your dryer, as it runs and runs and runs for many years like mine has, it vibrates and ends up shaking some of your connections and makes them a little bit loose. So when they're loose, they might pop off and cause an arc. And see, when you look over here at this spot that doesn't have a connection on it, this is the one that really blew up. This was the hot wire, actually, the red one. Let me pick it up here. You can see that it really burned. It got loose from the power cord, and then all hell broke loose. Alright, so now we're going to get these wires that are nice and clean and pretty, and we're going to get these on the inside of the dryer. So this is the new terminal block in here. Again, you can pick these up at your Amazons of the world, or do like me. I went to the local appliance supply shop and support the small businesses there. It only cost about $25 for this whole set, something like that. But it's pretty straightforward. It has an instruction kit. In there some kind of way. I can't get it out with one hand. It's got all of these screws and whatnot to help you with the installation. So let's get this thing installed real quick. See what I'm doing now. Sorry about my voice, but what I'm doing right now is taking these cables that were supplied, these wires that were supplied with the terminal block, and connecting them to the existing dryer wires. So, I had to cut off the edges and get them cleaned up, and I'm just going to crimp these together. It comes with these little twist ties here to help make it easier. So once you cut off the tips there and get it nice and cleaned up, you want to do about 1/2 inch of clearance or so. And just take it here and try to shift these wires down inside this little tool and twist it together rather tightly. Probably about maybe 10 or so twists. You'll feel it start to get secure. So that's what I'm doing, is just twisting these together. Alright, so next we'll connect the terminal block to the new wires. That's this little piece right here. Alright, so now you got to make sure you put this terminal block back onto your dryer wires in the right order. As in, make sure you got the colors going where they need to go, because your power cord is going to connect to this, as well as the dryer wires are going to connect. I remember that I had the order of there was a green cable from the dryer that went here. Then there was a black one, and then there was a white one, and then there was the red one. Nothing went over here. This was just a bolt to tie in. And then the power cord wires, it was the same order. There was a green, then a black, and then a red. No, that's not right. I remember how it is, but let's go ahead and get this connected. Alright, so the next part is connecting the terminal block to the dryer physically, not just the cables, but you got to connect it physically to the dryer. It only has 2 little screws. We'll pop those on and knock that out. It's important to remember the order that your wiring was set up. If you got to write it down, write it down. If you need to take a picture of it as a before, do that. Just make sure you get these connected back in the right order. Okay, so it got connected in there nice and simple, pretty flush and clean and straightforward. You can take a look at it here. See, it wasn't too hard, just those 2 screws. But again, make sure you remember the proper order that your wires were connected to the terminal block from your power cord. This down here, this is part of the actual power cord that goes into the wall. And I remember that this one went over there as part of the ground. It's not connected to the terminal block. It's actually connected to the dryer itself. So just keep that stuff in mind. Now I'll go ahead and connect the power cord to the terminal block, which in turn is just connecting the power cord to the dryer. So we're going to carefully disconnect the nuts and bolts that are in there so we can put our power cord back on. So we'll remove these little bolts. Next, you want to slide the back protection panel back into place. Alright, so the hard part is out of the way. Now we need to plug this thing up into the wall and brace ourselves for the harder part. That's powering it on and making sure I don't blow myself up through electrocution. So you see it didn't want to plug into the wall fairly easily. I should probably go and check the breaker. I bet that's why it's not plugging in. Oh, look at there. There's our problem. So we have to turn this off, and then we'll turn it back on. There, see, now it's lined up with all of the other switches. Okay, I'm going to power it up. Timer set. Power button. Here goes. I think we're good to go because I can actually smell the heating element starting to warm up, so everything's a go. Alright folks, that's it. That's another successful home appliance repair. You know, hopefully this thing will help you guys out. I will put a link in the description that links to the part that I had to buy, you know, and the installation and so forth. Hopefully this thing helps you guys out, because you don't always have to jump up and buy new appliances. If you can fix it yourself, save yourself hundreds and hundreds of dollars and fix it yourself. Thank y'all for watching. We'll catch y'all in the next one.